Some of my all-time favorite salads are also the easiest to make, the tabbouleh and the cucumber salad. Few ingredients, crazy delicious, super simple to prepare. We do need to start off though by prepping up everything before we make it. Sound good? Let's cook. For the tabbouleh salad, we are going to start off with some bulgur wheat. This is fine bulgur, also known as number one. What we want to do is just cover it with enough water to soak it, let it soften up, get it ready for that salad. I've got 3/4 cups of this bulgur wheat. I'm going to add in about a cup to a cup and a half of lukewarm water. Now, I know a tabbouleh salad traditionally is maybe more of like a parsley salad, but I definitely like a little bit more bulgur in mine. I'm going to stir it to combine. Now, the goal is to set it to the side for about 20 to 25 minutes in hopes that it soaks it up and softens up. Now, in the meantime, we can prep up a lot of the vegetables. I've got 5 green onions here. Again, I like a little bit more onion flavor in mine. We're going to thinly slice them. And once I get to the root end where the whites are, still plenty of green onion to use. I push it over, get the roots all the way at the end, and simply slice away. Put it in a bowl, and now for the mint. Love fresh mint. I go a little bit heavier here, maybe 25 to 30 leaves. I'm telling you, the flavor in this will absolutely help take this salad over the top. Don't skimp out on using this. We need to talk about 3 super important ingredients, starting with the cucumber. Now, there are some recipes out there that do not call for cucumbers. Me, I like some cucumber in mine, and I like to use the Persian cucumber. It's a little bit more firm, doesn't have as many seeds in it, but if you're going to use an English cucumber, what you want to make sure to do is to salt it, get rid of as much liquid as possible. Very similar to my creamy coleslaw recipe, we don't want to waterlog the tabbouleh salad. Now for the tomatoes, I'm just a huge fan of Roma tomatoes. I think it's a great tomato all year round. It's decent in the winter and it's absolutely delicious in the summertime. And I'm going to show you how to slice it in a way that removes as much seeds as possible so that we don't have all that liquid again in our salad. And then last but not least, parsley. I'm a huge fan of Italian flat leaf parsley. You can, of course, use curly parsley if you want. And I definitely want to tell you, use a lot of the stems. There's so much flavor in the stems. We can help stretch this recipe out just by doing that. We'll also give it a little bit of a crunch. To prep up the cucumbers, we're going to slice off the end. And then what I'm looking for is a medium dice. This isn't a salad that has huge chunks in there. No, very small little bite-sized pieces. So I'm going to stick to the game plan and medium dice all the cucumbers, add it to the bowl with the other herbs. Now for the tomato, going to use Romas. We want to fillet it. So slice down, do not go all the way through, and then using your other hand, just roll out the tomato so that you have this perfect little fillet. Now everything that's left over, great to freeze for stocks or even put it up in your favorite tomato sauce. All right, back over to the tomato fillets. I'm gonna thinly slice it and then medium dice it just like the cucumber, throwing it into that bowl with all the other veggies. And then for the parsley, 3 big old bunches of flat leaf. Just give it a really good rinse. You want to get any of the dirt and junk off of there, and then give it some very violent shakes like you're headbanging to heavy metal music. Then I'm going to place it in some paper towels and get as much of the liquid off as possible. Scrunch it up. This is perfect. And then it's time to get those knife skills ready because we are going to chop like crazy. So again, there's tons of flavor in those stems. Be sure to use most of them, taking about 1-inch slices all the way to the bottom until there's about an inch or so left. These bottom pieces, I put in the freezer and save them for stock. Okay, now it's time to chop, chop, chop like crazy. This is probably going to take in between 10 to 12 minutes to get that nice little fine mince on them. Should look just like this. This is perfect. Transfer it over to that bowl with all the other goodness in there. And then, totally optional, and I know I'm chopping garlic, it's not in a garlic press, but I'm going to add in 1 finely minced clove. So much chopping. I remember I had a chef back in the day, whenever I would chop parsley up, he'd be like, oh, do you think it's fine enough? And I would say, yeah, sure. He would say, no, chop another 5 minutes. That's exactly what this is. Super finely minced, absolutely perfect. All right, we're rounding third base. What we want to do at this point is dry out the bulgur as best we can. We want all the ingredients to be dry. The bulgur, the cucumbers, the tomatoes, because we want to infuse as much of that olive oil and lemon flavor as possible. If there's too much water in there, it's going to dilute everything and it's not going to be that delicious. We want that lemon and olive oil flavor in this.
The bulgur looks great. It's soaked up just about all of the water. There's still a little bit left in there, but we need to drain it off. And the best way I know how is to run it through a chinois, which is a very, very fine mesh strainer. You could use cheesecloth if that's all you have, but if it's a strainer, it needs to be a chinois. Once everything is in there, I'm just going to use a spatula and press as much of the liquid out as possible. You won't believe how much is going to collect at the bottom. Once it's to this point and nice and dry, we're going to add it right to that bowl with all the other veggies. And now it's time to flavor this thing up. I have a half cup of very good extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to squeeze in the juice of 2 whole lemons. Get that nice tangy bite in there. Season it up super well. Salt and fresh cracked black pepper. Remember, you know my philosophy, season once, taste twice. Taste it, season it, taste it again. See if it needs anything more after that step.
I'm pretty sure I have parsley in my teeth. But make sure to adjust the seasonings of the tabbouleh salad. Salt, pepper, olive oil, lemon juice. You may need a little bit more, a little bit less, going to depend on your taste bud. But one thing is for sure, you should absolutely taste everything with every single bite. The parsley, the bulgur, the tomato, all of that should come through. Now, a couple other things. I have seen 7 spice added to it. Remember my kibbeh recipe? You can add in a teaspoon or 2 of that. Really could make some bold flavors there. Also, would be traditional to serve it up as an appetizer alongside some romaine hearts. Put it in there, got a nice little cup there. Delicious. Now for the cucumber salad. And I'm also going to use the Persian cucumber in this recipe because, again, it's firmer, it has less seeds, but it doesn't matter what cucumber you are using. You have to salt it and remove as much liquid as possible. It doesn't have the ingredients that the tabbouleh salad has, like the bulgur or the parsley, to help soak everything up. No, once you add in the vinegar and the salt from the dressing in this salad, it is going to become incredibly waterlogged. Honestly, it's going to start fermenting. You're going to have cucumber champagne or beer, and we do not want that. So do not skip this salting process.
I'm going to be using about 15 of these cucumbers, and because they're already pretty small, we really just want to slice these into half moons. Now, if you're using bigger cucumbers like the English cucumber, you may want to slice it in half again and make little quarter moons. Totally up to you. These piece sizes are perfect for me. We're going to add it in a colander that's over top of a bowl, and at this point, we are going to add in 1 tablespoon of sea salt. Then using a spoon, whatever you've got, just mix it around to get all that salt incorporated into the cucumbers so that it can start releasing that liquid right down into the bowl.
And don't worry, while these are setting to the side, we can prep up some other things like the dressing or even the onion. Now, there are some recipes out there that don't use them, but I like a little onion in mine. But remember, this is a cucumber salad first, not a cucumber and onion, not an onion salad. So what we want to do is slice them very, very thin. We want to complement those cucumbers and make the flavor that much better.
I've got an absolutely massive red onion. For some reason, this was the only sizes they had at the grocery store, so I'm only going to need about a quarter of this. It's going to total about a quarter cup when it's all finished slicing. And the best way to thinly slice it, if you ask me, is a mandolin. You know my rule, once you start getting nervous on the mandolin, stop using it. Now, because red onions can bleed and I don't want it to change the color of the cucumbers or get any weird pink red dye on there, just rinse them really quickly in some cold water. Now for the dressing. I love this dressing. A quarter cup of mayonnaise. We're next going to add in 3 tablespoons of white distilled vinegar. For a little sweetness, add in 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. And then last but not least, I have 2 tablespoons of finely minced fresh dill. I'm telling you, the dill will take this absolutely over the top.
It's almost assembly time. What we want to do is give a little push and gentle press to remove as much extra liquid as possible. And you'll probably get almost 3/4 cup of liquid in here, which is crazy. But after that's done, it is time to whip this up.
Put the drained cucumbers back in a very large bowl. Let's add in the onions, hit it with that dressing. And what you want to do is mix everything to combine it. Now you need to taste it. And a big reason is those cucumbers have already been salted. They may not need that much more salt or pepper. Heck, if you don't like salt, they may not need any more salt. Be sure to taste it and see where it's at. For me, I need just a hair more just to season it up. Mix it in there, and it is ready to serve up.
Now, both these salads will probably last up to 3 days covered in the refrigerator. They are so tasty, and it's all about these fundamental basic cooking techniques, simple ingredients. You'll always have something so delicious. This is a great side dish for family or friends at a get-together. I'm telling you right now, this will absolutely be the talk at your party. You 100% have to try serving either of these up with my kofta recipe. It is a perfect pair. I've got a great video for you. I'll see you on there.